Eaton Clam says the tarantula hasn't woken up yet. It's looking limp. He's starting to descend down. I got new hair gel yesterday. It's not as strong. He's starting to descend down onto Miss Muffet with the tuffet and the curds and whey. Kloppo says, has anyone pointed out Aaron has the start of lesions Melton has on his face? Oh, no, where? Where are my imperfect? Look at that beautiful skin. I mean, let's not f around. I mean, sure, the camera with the turkey neck here. But look at that beautiful skin. I look a little Down syndrome. I got a mole right here. Not cancer. But I do have a mole right there. In the business, we call it a beauty mark, if you didn't know. I also got a very nice DM from Jesse P.S. from Pod Awful offering some tips on the studio. And he's like, I've got some tips that'll fix what's going on. But if you're not going to listen to me, I'm not going to bother. Here's my thing. I am totally ready to listen to Jesse. I am ready to do anything within reason. But if I don't do everything he tells me to do, he's going to go, well, he didn't listen to me. Well, here's the thing. If it's with the camera, if it's changing the whatever, if it's removing the sign and with layouts and shit, no, this is what I'm working with here. If it's, hey, you can move the lighting here, you can move the big studio lights somewhere else, I'm down for it. I'm cool with it. You can change the camera settings to this. You can move the camera this way, that way. I'm here for it, man. I'm ready for the learning curve. I'm ready to figure out what I don't know. But if it's like, well, look, you need to tear the sign down, and then you need to take your wall, paint it orange. You need to put some unicorn stickers up there. You need to just really around with it. No, I did the wall surgery, ended up being minimal. We drilled a few holes in the wall. That was it. And we got that big bastard up there. And it's up there nice and sturdy. I feel comfortable banging on it like that. Although it would be funny if it fell down right now on my ass. That would be rather hilarious. Jane says wanted me to go on MLC again. I love Kevin. I've said that before. I like Kevin a lot. Nova said MLC doesn't pull the numbers Steel Toe does, so Aaron shouldn't go on his show. He should crawl her ass over to his show. Well, here's the deal. Kevin does, like we did, I think 840 was our peak number yesterday. And like, Kevin does like 700. That's the same number. People have this, they're like, oh my God, his number said 8, his number said 7. That level is still nobody. That level is still, you're a hack, you're a nobody, you're a nothing. That's what the difference between 840 and 740 is nothing. If you looked out at a crowd that was 800 strong and you looked out at a crowd that was 700 strong, it would look pretty much the same. Jane says, Aaron, you can afford Accutane. Melton spends all his money on weed. You know, you're not going to believe this. This is just soap and hot water, my man. This is just soap and hot water. See this beautiful face right here? See all this real estate? You know, there's a lot of room for lesions and scars and scabs and everything else to form. Look at me, though. God, my face and chin is looking pretty round, though. But, you know, when you're in the news, when you're a public figure, like I've been for over a decade now, you're kind of numb to it, you know? People's public perception is, oh, you're a piece of shit. Well, yeah, of course they're going to think you're a piece of shit. That's the only thing they know about you. That's fair. That's fair. I don't get bent out of shape with people I don't know talking about what a piece of shit I am when the only thing they're told about me is what a piece of shit I am. I mean, I believe it. JB Gunner says, I've never known a dude that didn't share a pic or two with their friends. I'm going to be very honest with you, and we talked about this last week. I didn't know it was illegal when I did it. I really didn't. I didn't know that you couldn't text your buddy a picture of a girl you're with. I didn't know. I mean, look, ignorance of the law is no excuse for breaking it, 100%. But I don't know. After sentencing, we'll talk about some of the discovery and what the real motivation for all this was. Someone texting in, surprised you didn't end up at Coachella during your last marriage. April called Keanu high on whippets one time and told Keanu, she said, you and I can go to New York and we can cover the Diddy, or we can go to the Diddy trial. Keanu, you and I would have so much fun. I'll come up there and visit you and we'll go to the Diddy trial. And like, Keanu was like, it was just the most up thing. Like, it was just weird. I wasn't talking to the same person. It's weird. But yeah, she probably would have went to Coachella. Coachella's sexy. You can be so sexy at Coachella. It's poser bullshit. It's buying a personality because you couldn't develop one on your own. Made a couple of changes, very subtle ones. The big changes are on the way. The subtle change I made, of course, microphone got flipped. Whole table got moved over so I can move a little more comfortably. I did with the camera a little bit, but you probably can't tell. I want to give myself a little less head clearance. I feel like I'm too high up, but 40 FPS sent me a DM on Twitter last night, and he said, he gave me like a section of boxes, and he goes, you want the feature of your shot to be where these lines intersect. I'm trying to get my head up to that point. But, I appreciate everybody and their kind words and all that stuff. I did turn off the lights up here on the sign. And the reason I turned off the lights is because the camera is definitely, because of how this metal sign just bounces light back off of it, the camera is definitely battling between myself and the sign for what it should focus on. And so I did something temporary today, and then I did something permanent as well. The temporary thing I did was I turned off the blinking, rotating lights, which I love. I think they're great. I love them. I think they're great. But I did. I ordered some. It's a spray. Would that be an epoxy? I don't know. It's just kind of an invisible coating that you put over the metal, and it stops it from, harshly bouncing light back at you. So that's going to help a little bit. I know. Look at me learning shit, right? Look at me learning things. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't know, nice and anchored. Nice and anchored. People found out that I made my first little court request for a vacation. I got to call my lawyer again because he entered the wrong dates. It's a wider span. I don't think they really care. It's kind of a ballpark thing, but I don't want to f up my first one. SP and I decided that a little trip was in order, with all this stuff being over with and all of this nonsense and horse shit being done, that we would take a few days for one of the long weekends. So I'm excited about that. But people found it already. It's amazing. People, they scrounge the internet and they just find shit. It was like hours. Because I emailed my lawyer and I said, I need these dates. And he sent it off to prosecutor. Prosecutor said, no problem. Sent it off to the judge. And I believe the judge has said no problem. I heard today. I could be wrong. But either way, it looks like we're good to go. And I'm heading off to relax a little bit, and I'll be honest, play golf, probably play golf. If there's craps in the area, I'll find a craps table. But other than that, relax, drink, have a good time. I do find it really fascinating though. It started out as kind of a bit. It started out as a gimmick. We would say, "Hey, Steel Toe is box office, baby." But I went on Fox 9 today, and that tweet of our show and the news and the charges and everything, that is by far, they get no traction on Twitter. They get nothing. Everything's got 3, 4, 5 likes. Ours is all over the place. Steel Toe's box office, baby. You could argue I'm the biggest news story in Minnesota right now. It's and look, when you have a show, any press is good press. I'm not kidding you. Everybody needs a bad guy. Everybody needs a heel. So, the Bring Me the News article, it's the biggest thing they've got on that platform. So I'm pretty, when we say Steel Toe is box office, Steel Toe's box office, baby. I just hope they share some of that box office with me. I did see, was it Numero Uno or was it Buzamak who put the clip up today of Chad saying that, he didn't think I should have ever been charged with anything. He thought it was a bullshit charge. I appreciate that. What I've said from the very beginning was, did I violate the letter of the law? Yes. Did I violate the spirit of the law? I don't know. Well, Zumach said, quote, he said, well, then we're all guilty of that crime. And, I appreciate that. It does take a lot of balls for someone to admit that, because I see a lot of like fake pearl clutching from a lot of dudes, which is embarrassing, where they're like, oh, how could you ever? And Chad just came out and said it. He goes, if, sending off a text is a crime, then Chad said, then I'm guilty. We're all guilty. And I was like, you know what? That's an honest guy. When a guy who doesn't even like you can be honest about it, I think that's a dude move right there.